Hi, we're the Second Twins. I'm Terry.
And I'm Linda. And we're going to talk about dreams today and their meanings. Dreams are the secret symbolic language of the subconscious mind. Many people believe the function of dreams is to express the subconscious feelings and emotions that you don't give yourself permission to express in your waking state.
Well, we can train ourselves to have greater access to a higher knowing through really learning how to interpret the symbols and images in our dreams. What we encourage people to do is to meditate, and you can try to do meditation. It's a very simple way of relaxing your mind, and you can breathe in slowly to the count of 7 and out to the count of 7. You could sit down or you could lie down, as long as you're not going to fall asleep, and just breathe in and breathe out, counting to 7 and then out to the count of 7, and then do that for about 10 or 15 minutes until you're very relaxed. This daily practice will help you to gain insight and to remember your dreams and to really connect with your feelings and emotions, because that's what dreams really are.
Yeah, they can give you a clue or an insight into what action to take in your life. Maybe you're stuck, maybe you're confused about something, and dreams can help you become more aware of what direction to take with a problem or challenge.
Yeah, and actually you could say an affirmation before you go to sleep, which is, my dreams influence and heal me. I am safe. So before you go to sleep at night, you can say those things. And also, if you have a lot of nightmares, which we often do, you can say, call on your dream angels and your dream masters, we call them. They're angels in charge of dreams. Before you go to sleep, you could say, protect me from nightmares. I don't want to see any scary things. There's a lot of people, have very scary imagery in their nightmares, and you can literally protect yourself from scary images and spirits visiting you and things like that.
It's true. It's nearly impossible to scientifically study dreams. There have been studies done, of course, people hooked up to electrodes while they're dreaming and so on, but it's really, really hard to interpret meaning unless you're an intuitive or you have, kind of any insights on what dream meanings are in symbology. We wrote about it in our book Psychic Intelligence years ago. Ancient cultures like Greece and Rome and Egypt Mesopotamia, they all valued dream interpretation as a very sacred healing technique. And they had rituals quite involved, actually, some of the ancient healing rituals around dreams. And so it's an ancient science, and we feel that there's different ways to get more in touch with your dreams.
Yeah, well, one thing we recommend in our book is to have a dream journal next to your bed, and this can be a simple notebook or legal pad. You may want to put a pretty cover on it and call it dream journal. And then when you wake up from a dream, you want to try to remember at least 1 or 2 details: a person, a color, a smell. Did you travel somewhere? Did you hear music? And jot those down in your dream journal, because you want to revisit that later. If you have the same dream over and over, it's called a recurring dream, and you can learn from these dreams, and it will help you to analyze them later on. Now, keep in mind, you might just see scribbling or gibberish in the morning. A lot of people do that, but at least you're training your mind to remember the imagery and the meanings that you had in your dreams.
Yeah, and it can offer a clue as to something you're stuck with in your life. It may also be that there is a past life that you're constantly dreaming about, like an auto accident or an explosion or fire. That is very terrifying. We've actually done collabs with people that have had recurring dreams about being in car crashes, and that often will indicate it's a past life that you can actually do some meditation about hypnotic regression, and you can release that negative traumatic thought that's in your cellular memory. I had one of the most intense dreams. It was about 5 years ago, and it was gigantic spider web. This spider web hanging from the middle of the living room ceiling, and these giant spiders were crawling inside of it. It was the most terrifying dream, and when I got up, I said to Terry, I had this horrible dream about giant spiders crawling in a big web hanging from the ceiling. What do you think it meant?
And I said deception.
Terry said
I'm scared to death of spiders. I mean, even small ones, I won't go near them.
Yeah.
And so immediately I saw this dream as meaning deception. Somebody was deceiving us.
And I had the instinct, as soon as she said deception, I had the instinct to go to the computer and I just put in psychic twins, you know how you Google search your name? And I Google searched psychic twins just because it was intuitively given to me. And I found out, much to our horror, there was a girl of about 30 years old who had actually hijacked our entire life story and plagiarized our book.
Our first book,
Separated at Earth, in its entirety. And she was passing it off as fiction, and she'd gotten $1 million from a major publisher, and it was blowing up all over the internet. It went international. It was so famous, and I was so horrified. And then after that, of course, we did a lot of research and found out that nearly every concept and theme and phrase from our book had been hijacked.
So we actually write about that in our new book, You Can't Fix Stupid, and that's a Kindle book. So it's a really interesting story. It doesn't happen to too many people.
Yeah, it was such a vivid dream, and one of the more dramatic ones I've had.
It was really interesting how we kind of predicted the future with that one.
Yeah.
And also, like, I had the experience where the two of us had spent all day with our mother who was dying from Alzheimer's and lung disease. And we were so exhausted and so grief-stricken, and we fell into bed and fell into a deep sleep, and I woke up with the image of an angel, just very fleeting, like a shadowy angel, just like flying past my eyes. And I knew at that moment that my mom had died. And so not too many people have that experience where they actually predict, their mother's death in that way. It was an image of an angel. But you may have that experience at one point or another. You may have a spirit visitation where somebody who has crossed over is visiting you in a dream. You're going to know it. It's going to be like they're going to be talking to you, or they're going to be doing something that you remember them doing, or sitting in the chair, near your bed or something. Sometimes they'll sit on your bed. This is called a visitation, and that is some way that spirits come and visit us after they've crossed over. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's very normal experience.
Yeah, it can be a very simple message from a loved one. Spirit visitations are usually just coming in to say, hey, I'm okay, I'm with you, I'm protecting you, or I'm helping you.
I'm not sick anymore.
I'm an angel for you.
Yeah.
That's all. It can be that simple.
It's a very lovely, heartfelt message usually. So write it down in your dream journal if that happens to you, and any details that you can remember. Interpreting symbols and images in dreams can literally change your life path. We truly believe this, and we've done this ourselves. So just keep in mind that you are the best interpreter of your dreams, and other people can help if they're experts or if they're very, very intuitive. They can help you interpret dreams, but you're the best one to do that.
Some of the most common dream symbols and meanings. We'll just go through 8 or 9 so you kind of get a feeling for what might be going on if you have dreams like this a lot. Falling is one of the most common that people report. I mean, that's almost common. Everybody's had a dream about falling. You might, in your waking life, feel out of control, or you might feel a fear of failure and uncertainty in your life around something. It usually has to do with loss of control or an insecurity of some kind.
Well, the same with if you have disaster dreams, or you dream of apocalyptic events like a tsunami or an earthquake. You may be psychic and you may be predicting an event that's going to happen, like we've done that with many earthquakes, as well as the big tsunami that happened many years ago.
Terror attacks.
But often if you have disaster dreams, they more likely than not are about you're feeling out of control or unable to make a decision in your daily life. So it may be a prediction, or you may be overwhelmed emotionally. So jot that dream down in every detail you can think of.
Being chased by a person or an animal is very common, or even being chased by a demon.
In many cases,
it is scary. I've had it happen many times, but they turned out to be real people. Someone may be making you feel threatened, or may be an unconscious threat. Maybe you don't know yet that this person is a scary stalker, or it might be somebody that's dangerous in your environment. This often represents an emotional problem that you don't want to face in your life. And so being chased can represent different things. It isn't always a literal thing where somebody's going to chase you down the street.
Do you ever dream about being lost or stuck somewhere? You may feel trapped in a situation like a relationship or a job that you just don't like, and you want to get out of it. So you might dream that you're stuck somewhere. Also, if you're unable to make a choice in your life, maybe you're in love with two guys, or you can't decide. So often you'll feel like you just can't move, or you're paralyzed, you're stuck.
There's another dream that people commonly report, and that's drowning. Drowning has to do with the fear of being overwhelmed in life. Actually, water has to do with relationships and healing.
Yeah,
so usually there's a deeper meaning to drowning dreams. It might have to do with your feeling powerless, overwhelmed, again, that comes up a lot. And big waves, if you have big waves in your dream, which I used to have terrible, overwhelming, like tsunami types of waves, they can indicate anger or jealousy. So that's something to be aware of too. Maybe you're angry or jealous of someone, or you might be picking up on somebody who's jealous of you.
A lot of people we know are angry, but they don't know it. They don't know what their feelings are. They've suppressed it so far down that they really are out of touch with their anger and fear. And so dreams can sort of be a compass to point you in the right direction in terms of, where to look, where to get therapy, what to talk to your psychologist about, what do you need to change in your life. So in that sense, it can be very life-changing.
There's another dream we wanted to mention, and that's a dream about being naked in public, being exposed, nudity, public nudity. And that is, again, a common fear having to do with you're afraid of being exposed or vulnerable in a situation. Sometimes it has to do with fear about a secret being revealed that you've tried to keep under wraps for a long time.
Or like you have a dark side.
Yes.
Everybody has a dark side, guys, so you don't have to be so afraid of it. It's called the shadow self.
Yeah, the shadow self. And I really think it has to do with a fear of being known on a certain level, fully known and transparent to people. And so be aware if you have a fear of, if you find yourself dreaming about that a lot, that's usually the reason.
Now, if you have a dream that you're flying, that often represents that you have a lot of ambition, or you're moving beyond the physical plane or your physical limitations. And it can symbolize a spiritual overcoming as well, or a breakthrough that's at hand. It could even symbolize expansion. So if you're flying, this is usually a positive thing.
I love flying dreams. I wish I had them more. Actually, you can program your mind to have dreams that are joyful, uplifting, about flying through the air if you feel very stuck and tormented by a problem in life. You might want to ask your dream masters, please help me feel unbound in my sleep state, in my dream state. Help me have dreams about flying or floating. Maybe you'll learn to do lucid dreaming. That's something that we could talk about more in the future. That's a whole other video in itself.
Now, if you ever have dreams about snakes or serpents, somebody actually wrote to us this week about snakes and dreaming of snakes. Now, I'm not terribly afraid of snakes, but I haven't spent a lot of time around them, thank God. Snakes or serpents usually symbolize, to me, a transformation.
Yes.
Like you're really going to go through a dramatic spiritual change or transformation is at hand, and it's always very powerful. Even if you happen to be on a walk and you see a lizard or a snake, it usually symbolizes transformation.
Sometimes we can't remember our dreams because we have blocks to remembering our dreams. Maybe there's something scary about remembering them. So you can ask your dream masters to help you dissolve blocks to remembering or to dreaming clearly. Some people don't dream at all, or they think they don't. And so you can ask for inspiration in your dreams. Say, please give me inspirational dreams that I'll remember in the morning.
Yeah, and there are some things that you can use as affirmations, which simply is self-talk or self-statements that you can write out or you can say them aloud before you go to sleep. One of them is, I easily recall my dreams. I easily remember my dreams.
I dream things that are inspiring to me and uplifting. I will not feel any fear tonight in my dreams. If you have nightmares a lot, you could say that.
I'm safe.
I'm safe when I dream.
I have beautiful healing dreams.
I like
That's
that.
good, because
That's a good
you might wake up, as we often do, seeing very bright colors. And the colors will usually be associated with the different chakras or energy vortexes in your body.
Angels come to me and guide me in my dreams. That's a nice one. And we have more affirmations in our book, but I think this will just be a good basic, for you guys to know.
But what's the scariest dream you've ever had, or the scariest nightmare? Put it in the comment section below. We want to hear from you.
We'd love to read them. We just wanted to mention that our new book, You Can't Fix Stupid, is a bestseller on Amazon now. So check it out when you get a chance.
And make sure you hit like and subscribe to our channel.
And we'll see you in the future.